So hey there, everybody. As always, welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. My name is Rich. I'm the channel host, and normally we're talking about drones here, building your small drone business. And we also do talk a lot about imaging technology and the technology behind the scenes for all of our post-processing work after we're done doing our drone work. Now, today we're doing something a little different. I want to talk about some 360-degree imaging, and you can actually see the live stream up next to me. And you can see that I am at MetaReal's website. Now, I'm going to admit something. I didn't read the directions, period. It's very simple. Recently, I had an opportunity to shoot a property that's listed for 1.2 million right now, and this is not part of the property presentation. But while I was dealing with the property, I decided let's go through and do a 360 virtual tour and finally check out MetaReal. I've been wanting to check out MetaReal for quite a while. So while we were on location, I went through and we did 20 plus images for a quick walkthrough tour that was intended to go up on MetaReal. So after we did all the work for the client and got everything else done, they didn't want a 360 walkthrough, but we wanted to borrow the property for it. Came back and I finally processed the images and I uploaded them to MetaReal. So I'd never used it before. I didn't check out any of their instructions at all. And I figured, let's see what happens. And some lessons have been learned. I'm going to change the screen here right now so that we can go full screen on this. So now here we are on the full screen version and we're looking at the MetaReal website. So I signed up with them just a couple of days ago. And one of the things that you can do with MetaReal, you can actually submit your 360 images and you can build the 3D dollhouse. You can also make a realistic floor plan with it. And if you don't have the time to do it, the folks at MetaReal will do it for you. So that's pretty cool. So number one, before even shooting, I should have read some directions because that impacted the entire thing. Um, the upload was easy enough. The signing up was easy enough. I don't have a permanent account with them yet, but I'm thinking about signing up with them in the near future. One of the things that I'd heard about MetaReal was the fact that you could upload something, not be a member, and actually pay them to assemble it for you. So if you didn't want to do the 3D dollhouse yourself or the floor plan yourself, or even interconnecting your images, they do it for you. So I went ahead and paid them. Once again, we did over 20 images. So a little, 80 something dollars went out of my pocket for an experiment. Now, that's a little wasteful, but it was also very telling and it showed me, you know, that I need to learn a little bit more about this. Now, 9 times out of 10, I know you do it too, that we get a new product, a new software, a new piece of hardware, a new drone, and we just go right to it. And we skip those instruction materials. I guess I'm becoming my dad. When I was a kid, I was great at reading instruction menus, and I would put things together. Like, back in the 70s, hey, I had my Millennium Falcon and that Death Star mock-up back in the 70s, if you remember that. I remember at Christmas that my dad tried helping me put together the Death Star, left the room a little angry. Not really angry, just ticked off with it. So while he was out of the room, I put the Death Star together myself, and I did it with the help of the instructions. So, number one, this is not picking on MetaReal at all. This was my fault because they do have some important directions you should know about. Now let's go ahead and click on the tour. One of the other things I noticed is that there is a slow upload time for the first rendering, and that's probably my fault too because these were very, very large files. So I'm going to click on OK here, and it's still dialing itself in. As you can see, normally I'm a Kula user and I will assemble my own tours. In the case of this, I decided to go ahead and try MetaReal. So we are using a Theta Z1, the Ricoh Theta Z1, and I was using the dual fisheye plugin. So I was doing 5 brackets in each room. Now, one of the things you may or may not see it's very, very toned down, but I do have a navigation icon here. And actually, before we go into the property, this is a bed and breakfast, look down on the left-hand corner with me really quick. So we can do the tour, model, plan. We can do the room chooser, and we can also use measuring tools. So this is kind of cool. Um, Before we enter the building, let's go ahead and back on the left-hand corner, we're going to do the tour model plan. I'm clicking on that and boom, this has given me the dollhouse. So this was not horrible. Like I said, I screwed up by not reading instructions, but even coming at it without having read what they'd like you to do, they assembled this for me, and this really did a great job. It did cover the room. So once again, this is a bed and breakfast. So we've got a bedroom here with its own bath, second bedroom right here with another bath, and then we've got a third bedroom as well up top here with another smaller bath. One of the other things was this was a two-story building. You can look story by story. So there's floor number one, and then we can do floor number two for the upstairs with those three different bedrooms and baths. And let's go ahead and click back to show all of it. So the dollhouse effect did work. I have some problems with it. That's probably, once again, my fault for being the impatient guy who didn't read those directions. Dad, if you're watching this one, sorry, it's true. You never read the instructions before, and now it's happening to me. I'll make sure to read them from now on. But I did want to share this with the YouTube audience as well, because even not reading it, this thing came out great. I'm going to go ahead and click into the model plan again. Check this out. So I did not submit a floor plan to them. I didn't submit labels to them. And they did label living formal area, kitchen, dining area. They didn't label the other dining area. And then we've got the hallway and the bedroom downstairs as well. So pretty amazing, to be honest. And you can actually do measurements with this too. So let's go inside and then we'll see my other screw ups. So number one, when I double clicked inside the entryway, and we've got to let this catch up again. Once again, I think this is my fault, how this thing resolves, and probably because the images that I put in were too big. So one of the things I read in the instructions afterward was that we need a really clear line of sight between the rooms. And so the entryway should have landed me in the entry hallway. It did not. They brought me right into the living room area, where I did two shots. So once again, I think that's my fault. And if I were to double click over here, it puts me back out on the porch again. So we kind of bypassed um, that entry hallway. There is another way to get to that entry hallway. Actually, I could use the film strip if I wanted to. So, by the way, they were kind enough to label these things for me too. I hadn't labeled these. Like I said, I was testing this out, and doing it in a way that probably wasn't the best idea, and I should have read the instructions. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look around here. I'm going to turn that one off because they did fill in little navigation dots. So I did do two different images in here. So if I click into here further, now we're further into the living room. We can see out the deck doors here, and the sun was coming in this window. So even with the Theta Z1 and the dual fisheye plugin, we can only get so much detail out of these windows. But overall, I think the Theta Z1 did a good job. And I really do think the folks at MetaReal did a great job working with my halfway correct finished setup for them. So now I'm going to click over to the doors here, and so we can go take a visit out onto the porch, or we can click into this one of the two dining areas. Once again, I'm going to let this catch up with me for it to resolve, so sorry about that. And I do think it was this size of my files. So big number one from them was, clear line of sight between the rooms, between the scenes that you're picking. And if you don't do that, you could have some problems. So I did have some problems in here. Let's click into the hallway here. We'll go to the master bedroom in here. There we go. So got ourselves right into the hallway. So this did a pretty nice job in the hallway. Once again, still resolving itself. So here's the master suite, and clicking into here. Once again, waiting for this to catch up. And so I did not heavily edit these either, because this was just for me testing, and I decided to share it with all of you on YouTube just to show you that even if you don't read the directions, you could get something pretty good out of MetaReal. So I think on next project where we have a client who wants to do a 360 walkthrough, I am going to propose this to them. And yes, I will have read the instructions and signed up for their full version. One other thing that they had mentioned was, hey, let's not leave those doors closed. Well, we had two different spots in this room. So one of the spots I left the door open, and the other spot I closed the door. And as you can see, we can see into the master bath as well. So I'm just going to click into here as well. And here we go again. We're just waiting for it to resolve. So we got some detail out of those windows once more. And there is the whole main bath area. So this did work very well. And like I said, I don't work for MetaReal or anything. I am very impressed with the fact that even though I didn't give them what they were asking for, that I did kind of a hack job on the upload, that they were still able to get so much out of this. So thank you very much, MetaReal. You guys have really proved that you've got a good system here and a system that I'm probably going to start using. I'll continue to use Kula as well because Kula has been a mainstay for us for quite a while now. But if we need to do these dollhouse type things, this is fantastic. I'm going to double click. Oh, I missed it. I'm going to double click into the room. So I did a bad job of where I put the kitchen items as well. I should have had one visible right here. So that's the other thing is you need to have this in mind as you're setting up for MetaReal. If you'd like them to process your images for you, then you need to make sure that there's some clear line of sight from room to room. Otherwise, you're going to run into some problems. It did, however, bring us out into the kitchen and dining area. So that's the second dining area. And there's that hallway that we were missing when we came in because I didn't have it lined up perfectly. What's nice here, I'm going to just double click this next one. What's nice in here is we actually can get into that hallway now. So this is what we missed in the beginning when I said we jumped right into the living room. So here is their reception area, basically. And still, as we're doing this, I see that it's taking a moment to resolve. So I do need to read through and see their recommended sizes for the images so that I'm not bogging their system down. Now let's come back out here and let's take ourselves right on over to the beautiful porch view as well. And so once again, letting this resolve. And as you can see, the Theta Z1 did a great job on this particular window pull. It did a good job throughout the house, but half the house had sunlight beaming in all the windows and the other half did not. So we could take a look here again at our 3D model, and maybe we'd like to go upstairs to visit those different bedrooms and bathrooms as well. So we could easily do that, or, I think you're getting the idea on this. Overall, the big thing that I want to say about this is, like I said, I made mistakes, totally my fault, and totally worth the learning lesson, even if I did spend over $80. That's on me. Next time around, we'll see something a little better. But I wanted to share this one with you to tell you about the hazards of not reading the instructions and that it could cost you a little bit. Fortunately, this was not for their project. This was just an extra thing I was doing and, giving me the opportunity to try this out for the first time. And I am very impressed with MetaReal. So the next thing that I'm going to do is learn a little more about it and how I could do some of these assemblies with their platform, and also take a look into, what their price range is for their different plans. As I said, I paid $4 an image for this because I'm not one of their subscribers. I'm not a member. But the prices go down to have them do these assemblies for you. So if you're doing larger footprint areas, if you're doing bigger homes or bigger commercial properties, and your clients, maybe your clients are looking for floor plans and such, then this could be really helpful. Because once again, let's just pull this up. They even labeled these things for me. They gave us measurements, they gave us square footage, and that blows my mind because I didn't pass along any information like this. All right, everyone. I hope you learned a lesson from me being impatient, and that you remain patient and don't cost yourself a little bit. And if you are building your own small imaging business, drones, 360s, interior, exterior photography, this is another tool that might be just what you've been looking for. So I hope you check it out as well. You can sign up for free, and you can take a look around, and you can even read their instruction information. All right, everyone, we'll see you again really soon. and fly safe and have a lot of fun this week.